Hi YouTube, my name is Heather and I love anti-MLM content here on YouTube. I'm hoping to use this channel as an excuse for me to sit on the floor and talk about the predatory practices of multi-level marketing companies with a specific focus on Beachbody. Today I have about 5 minutes of a team call I'd like us to listen to from Beachbody upline, who is a 1-star diamond, talking to her downline about the doors that being a Beachbody coach could open. There's a few interesting points that I'd like us to draw on, and if you have any opinions, please feel free to leave them down below.
Going into 2022, right? This can open up any door you want. And I want to talk about all the different doors that this coaching right here, if you say, screw the excuses. If you say, I'm going to invite, even if I'm scared, I'm going to step out of my comfort zone. I'm going to get 1% better every single day to build my business. I want to talk about what's possible. So number one, I want to talk about the income that can happen for you and your family, which insert income disclaimer, right? Every Beachbody coach is independent, and the amount you make is based on how hard you work and the individual effort you put in as a coach, right? So
we know that's not true. The amount you make is not based on your individual effort. It's based on your ability to recruit hundreds of people, to message at least 5 to 10 people every single day, follow up with all of those people, and sell products. It's also based on your ability to ensure that everyone in your downline either ranks up and holds their rank and also remains active. So it's not just based on your own efforts, it's based on the efforts of everyone underneath you.
To talk about that because I don't want anyone thinking, well, I'm a Beachbody coach, so I should make this much money. But money. I just hit with Beachbody. I've made over $30,000 in 3 years. And so to think of the income possibilities, to me, this is my way out of teaching. And I plan to quit teaching next year. The only reason I'm teaching 4 years is because I got a teach grant and I don't want to pay back $20,000 if I don't. To me, 1 more year of teaching is worth the saving 20,000. But the money financially, and I know that's only going to continue to increase. But this year I'm already at 17 grand for the year, right? So when you stick it out and you keep building, and even though November I hit success level. October was one of my worst months, but this month in December was one of my best months, and I made about 2,000.
So there's a lot to unpack in that statement. She said that she made over $17,000 this year as a Beachbody coach. Let's remember she's a 1-star diamond rank, which is the first of 15-star ranks, which is 1.4% of approximately 400,000 Beachbody coaches. So she said she made $17,000 as a 1-star diamond. Her personal volume requirement, so what she has to purchase, is 200 PV every month. And then she's required to spend $16 per month for the monthly coach fee. When you add all of that up over the year, it's $2,592. When you minus her expenses from the $17,000 she said she made, she actually brought home $14,408. Now, this is before taxes, before any other expenses, before trips, before other Beachbody products that her upline and her upline's upline pressures her to buy. When I was just out of grad school, I worked part-time in a daycare, and I brought home about $12,000 or $13,000 working 20 hours a week, right? I did not work often, and I brought home pretty much the same amount that she brought home. She's working constantly to bring home a small amount. And it just shows at the star diamond rank at 1.4% of the company, she's barely making money. So the low earnings for the star diamond rank is $3,584 in 2019-2020. The average is approximately $116,000, and the high is 3.2 million. The fact that the income ranges for the top percent of the company goes from 3,000 to over 3 million just shows that the income is so inconsistent, and you could have one person with a massive downline at 2-star diamond bringing home 2 times as much as someone with the same rank but with a smaller downline is. Let me know what you think about that below. I was really surprised by that she's in the top 1.4% and she only brought home $14,000 before taxes and other expenses.
So it's like, what could $2,000 do to your family? Like, to me, that could almost replace my teaching salary. Like, if I could bring that in consistently.
Sorry, I know I just paused it. She said $2,000 she brought home in December could replace her teaching salary if she did that consistently. That just shows that Beachbody is not a consistent income. It's based on how many challenge packs can you sell, how many people can you recruit into the business, how many people can you sign up for Beachbody on demand. She probably put in the exact same amount of effort in the month before than she did in December and might not have brought home much money at all. It shows it doesn't matter how much time and effort you put in. If you can't sell or recruit, you're not going to be making money. Even in my part-time daycare job, I was a substitute teacher, so I didn't know exactly when I was working, but I knew when I was at the daycare, I would be paid my hourly wage, and I could kind of plan in advance so I could kind of plan to like put aside a certain amount of money for bills, for food, for other expenses. But when you're a Beachbody coach, you could work 90 hours in a week and make nothing or a $10 paycheck.
I didn't get started in this because of money, and I'm not just like driven to make money, but it is something in reality that like, that's how I'm going to get out of teaching all of that. And it's fun. Like, if you have extra fun money, that's how we can travel. That's how we can do that. Also, I put the picture of Shane in Berkeley and Clover and I, because actually how I got Berkeley was because Shane said, well, if you can pay for it out of your Beachbody account, you can get another dog. So to me, Berkeley is like my representation of like Beachbody paying off for me, because
let's also remember that while she was able to use her Beachbody money to buy a dog, everyone in her downline is at a lower rank than she is, and they are not making anywhere near as much money as she is. And so by saying she can use her money for a dog, I feel like other people might feel bad about that because they might have made $200 last month and like they're barely broke even. So just remember, everyone in her downline is making significantly less than she is.
He is my Beachbody dog. Second is confidence. I think that's something all of us strive to have more of, is confidence. And I think 150% I carry myself differently in the classroom, around others, in my marriage, everywhere, because of Beachbody coaching. If you would have seen me as a teacher in college or student teaching, I would literally get like bright red. I would feel anxious, like I felt sick when I was going to teach. Like, I just had so much anxiety about it. And now I can like walk in any room and just do what I need to do and not worry about it, because Beachbody's really given me the confidence to do that. Third is freedom, right? What do you want freedom to do? Freedom.
What do you think about that? So she said as a student teacher, she was really nervous and anxious to teach, and now she isn't because of Beachbody. It saddens me to hear that whenever MLM distributors have a positive change in their life, they tend to give all the credit to Beachbody instead of to themselves. I think it makes sense that when she started as a teacher, she was anxious and nervous. And as she grew up and spent several years teaching, she developed more confidence. I think that happens naturally as you grow up, as you mature, as you have more life experience. For example, in my first job out of grad school, I was a nervous mess, could barely talk at meetings, and now I can. Just part of growing up. And instead of giving herself that credit for being adaptable and being brave for doing something that she was nervous and anxious about, she's giving all the credit to her MLM and not to herself. In Beachbody, we see it a lot that, because of Beachbody, this person lost 100 pounds. Well, no, the person lost 100 pounds because they actually pressed play and did the workouts and followed the programs and followed the nutrition programs that Beachbody has. The majority of the credit should go to the person who is consistent enough to lose that much weight. Let me know if you've noticed distributors always giving credit to the MLM instead of to themselves, and let me know what you think about that below.
Freedom to travel, freedom to take more time off work, freedom to take a job that's maybe part-time, freedom to quit your job, freedom to buy presents that you want. Shane and I, this is probably the first year we've really gone out and like bought a lot of presents for people, because in the past we're like, well, we don't really want to spend the money, like we should be doing other stuff. But now we have that freedom. Okay, freedom to build a shop, freedom to build a house, freedom to, you know, save and pay off debt, freedom to do whatever, but it can create a lot of freedom for your life. And then lastly is opportunity.
In Beachbody, high up uplines often tell people to talk about what they hope to gain from the business. The way she just phrased that, she's made it seem like her Beachbody money is helping them save for a house. And obviously with you bringing home approximately $14,000, that's not enough to save to build or buy a house. They're often told to say, again, like what your hope is for the business, or draw on the experiences of those who've been in the business for years and years and who have used their Beachbody money to build their dream home or completely pay off their debt. I think it's very misleading because it makes it seem like that's her experience right now, while we know with the amount that she actually brought home, that's not possible. What do you think about that?
What will come out of being a Beachbody coach isn't going to be just being a Beachbody coach. So like, I full-heartedly believe, like, Angie asked me to start the podcast with her because of Beachbody. Like, if she wouldn't have done Beachbody coaching, she probably never would have started the podcast. I think of Victoria and her blog, like, if she didn't do Beachbody coaching, I don't know if she would have ever started her blog, because like it gives you the confidence to do other things. I put a picture of me in my boutique clothes because hands down, I can tell you, because of Beachbody, the income I built with Beachbody, the confidence I built with Beachbody, that led me to being like, I've done all of this in Beachbody thus far, so I know whatever I work hard on, I can do. And it gave me the opportunity to start the boutique. So, right, like there's a lot of people who use Beachbody as a stepping stone to what their true dream is. And I will forever love Beachbody and coach and stuff like that, but it also leads you to bigger and better things as well. So I want you to think going in.
Again, that's her taking the credit from the individuals who decided to try something new, try a blog or a podcast, and giving all the credit to the company instead of the people who are adults and who made a decision to try something new. I think I skipped over her discussion on freedom to travel. That's a big part of MLMs because there always seems to be some kind of trip incentive in Beachbody, for unless you are in the top of the company and you go to the leadership retreat, you are paying for the majority of your travel costs. For the new leader conference, this woman, she just qualified for it. It's in Las Vegas this year, and she has to pay her flight to new leader conference. If you're in a job where you make an hourly wage or you get a salary, you're able to save up to go to Las Vegas if you want to go, and you can go yourself. You can save up, you can plan, and you can go yourself, and you're not going to have to do work while you're on your vacation. And that's something to consider as well. Also, these trips are taxable. It is part of your income, and they like to call it like a free trip, all-inclusive trip, and then they always throw in there, but you have to pay for your flight. Flights are expensive. If you're going from, say, you're in Canada and you're going down to Las Vegas for New Leader Conference, that's a huge expense. And that just lowers the approximately $14,000 that this woman brought home this year. And I just wonder the exact amount of money that she actually brought home. I'd be really interested to see, maybe it's more like 10,000 instead of 14,000.
Into 2022. What kind of possibility is a store going to open for you? Yes, Jess put, I never would have been brave enough to drop full-time work and be a stay-at-home mom and bake from home. So true, because her and I talked about it for a really long time. And then when she messaged me that, like, she lost her job, we just said, like, well, I guess, like, that's what God's plan is. And you're gonna make it work and it's gonna be okay. And I think too, for me, it gives me an outlet. Just dealing with husbands, I love mine to death, but right, like, they kind of take up a lot of your time. I can't imagine someday when we have a child and they take up even more of your time, but it gives you something of your own. And I think that's what I really like, is everything else you kind of do together. And so this is like my thing.
That's how a lot of mothers, stay-at-home mothers, are recruited into Beachbody, because obviously when you're a mom or a stay-at-home parent at home, your life is revolved around your children's schedules, and you never really talk to adults day to day. And stay-at-home parents, they want to have something for themselves, something that they can call their own, while contributing to the household income, sorry, not outcome. What do you think about that? We had a lot of interesting points about freedom, about money, where we learned that this is not an actually good income opportunity. Even if you're in the top 1.4% of the company, you're not going to be bringing home a substantial amount of income. So if you learned something or found something valuable, you can let me know by leaving a like or a comment below. Thank you, and I'll see you next time.